I want to, while I have you here, shift to the president's speech. The president declared last week that it's time for the war on terrorism to end. He said, like all wars, it has to end. Senator Coburn, do you think the war on terrorism is over? I don't think the president said it was over, but he said we have to start bringing it to an end. What was your reaction to his speech?
Well, I see a big difference between a president saying a war's at the end and whether or not you've won the war. We can claim that it's at an end, but this war is going to continue. And we have still tremendous threats out there that are building, not declining, building. And to not recognize that, I think, is dangerous for us in the long run and dangerous for the world.
Senator Schumer?
Yeah, I think no one can dispute how strong the president's been on this war on terror. What he's saying is there's a new phase. We've been largely successful at dealing with al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and Pakistan. That's not over. There are new types of threats that we have to be vigilant about. But he said under this long-term war on terror where small groups of individuals can hurt us, we need some rules. We need some rules. We need some transparency. So American citizens and the citizens of the world know we're not just going willy-nilly. I think under scrutiny, what they've done will hold up very well. But having transparency, having rules, and engaging other activities other than military to help curb the war on terror, diplomacy, economic sanctions and things like that, is going to be useful as well. So I think the president did a very, very smart pivot, realizing we're not going to let up on terrorists, but at the same time we're going to meet the changes in the world.
Senator Coburn, the president also said that he's asked the Attorney General to review all these investigations into leaks of what he says is classified information and whether that's put a chilling effect on journalists trying to report the news. Do you think the Attorney General is the right person to head up this review?
Absolutely not. You cannot investigate yourself, and I think it's a total conflict of interest. First Amendment rights and the freedom of the press in this country and the intimidation that is going forward, it doesn't mean you shouldn't investigate it, and it shouldn't mean we shouldn't be tough on that. But allowing the very person that authorized the two things that we are very aware of today to investigate whether or not he did that appropriately is inappropriate.
Well, let me just ask, do you think we need an independent counsel or something of that nature?
Well, I certainly think we need to separate it from the authority of the Attorney General, since the decisions were made either by him or under him. And I don't think he can investigate himself. And so, you know, I don't know what we're going to get back, but the point is there's an inherent conflict of interest in me judging whether or not I did something and then reporting to the president.
Senator Schumer, what do you think about that?
Well, the system is clearly broken. Look, we have two very serious interests here. We have the right of the government to protect certain information from becoming public. Often that's classified national security information. Sometimes it falls into other ambits. At the same time, we want a robust and full freedom of the press. And the only people who make the rules in this case are the government side. So what I've proposed, along with Lindsey Graham, and we'll be announcing that we have 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans, another gang of 8, I love these gangs of 8, I guess, is legislation that sets up rules where you have to go with, if the government wants to go to a member of the press and say you have to divulge your sources and certain information, they first have to go to a judge, and that judge will impose a balancing test. Which is more important, the government's desire to keep the information, to find out who leaked the information, or the robust freedom of the press? And if we can set up these rules, I think we'll avoid the morass. You always need set rules and an independent arbiter. We have neither now. And I think our legislation, which Leader Reid has said he would put on the floor rather quickly, could help break the problem that we've seen erupt from time to time in the past several years.
Senator Schumer, before I let you go, I want to ask you about this New York mayor's race. Anthony Weiner, who left the Congress in disgrace after he published some rather suggestive pictures of himself, has announced that he is now running for mayor of New York City. Are you going to support him?
I'm not commenting on the mayor's race or on Anthony Weiner's race at this point, no.
Do you think he ought not to run?
I'm not commenting, Bob.
All right. Well, I guess that's that.